Can you record?
Sorry, Ross.
Record this, right?
Yeah. We're all listening now.
Listen.
We're listening.
Last week, wait.
Bated breath.
Last week, this guy lied about me, and he made a video.
Paperboy.
COE.
Okay.
Right? He made COE. Right? This guy, and what's this guy?
Paul Williams.
And Paul Williams and Ross. Paul Williams.
Paul Williams.
Steve.
Yeah.
So, where is the evidence? Make an allegation against me. And you told last week I was banned from Speaker's Corner. Look, I'm here. I'm still here.
Okay.
So where did you get that information from? Where did you get that information from? I was banned. I'm still there.
Now,
police officer is over there. I'm not banned.
Abu Kassim. Wait. He doesn't want me to respond. He doesn't want me. He's made a statement. He doesn't want me to respond.
Let me ask the question.
Let me respond.
Let me ask the question. So now you lied last week's video, saying I was banned, right? An allegation against me. So I'm still here. If this police officer is around somewhere, then I'm still there. Until 1 o'clock, I was there.
So you
lied.
That's not the allegation, is it?
Banned?
That's not the allegation, though, is
Okay,
it?
wait. Let me respond.
You are
Let me respond.
Let him respond.
I will. Wait. I will.
Point.
He was 100% sure. He was 100% sure I was banned, and he allied with Steve
and now this is
Why
the thing.
did you?
Alright,
Can you tell everyone on camera this timestamp of when I said you were banned, because that never came from my mouth. So can you tell everyone? Alright, you see, he's now lied and said I'm the one who said it. But he's now been exposed as a liar himself. Takia. Now he's in the box. Can you tell everyone why you are in court?
In court.
extremist
connections.
Show it. Fact check.
Let's have a look.
Let's fact check.
Point issue, I made a clarification video in COE. Don't watch that. And you came late. I have to go home now.
You have to go home. Can you tell us who is this person? Can you tell us who is this person? Who is this person? Who is this person?
Do you have a tag?
Who is this person? Who is this person? You see? We were exposed. Now come and stand and tell us why are you in court?
Yeah, why?
Why are you in court?
Why are you in court?
Tell us. Tell us why you're in court.
Fake news.
You see?
Is that it?
Can you tell us? Tell us why you fake news. Fake news. Look. Come on. You see? What? Look at that. Extremists in the park. Like, you see, when we ask him, he doesn't want to explain why he's in court. He said it's home time.
No, prayer time.
Why are you in court? Can you tell us why you're in court? You approached us in front of the cameras. Now when we're asking why are you in court? Can you tell us? Can you tell us why you're in court?
Very fascinating links.
Why you're in court? We don't care about
terrorist links.
Tell us
Extremist links.
Tell us why you're in court.
Why are you in court? Why are you in court?
Did I?
Extremist links.
Did I? Alright, you see? Notice the straw man.
Exactly.
Notice the deflection that this guy is coming, trying to say I lied about something that didn't come from my mouth.
Indefensible.
Will you tell us?
Look, feel that handshake around. MashaAllah. Camera where? Exposing.
Unexposed. You're the one that's exposed.
I'm coming next week too.
You do that, but you're exposed. We know who you are. We know what you are.
Can you tell us why you were at the Saleh Kaita?
What's that?
Defending him at court. What were you doing there?
Defending who?
Oh, I wonder. Saleh Kaita, one of the London Bridge attackers.
Wow.
Why was
Right.
See?
Hey, we'll cut him.
Look at him running away. Look at him running away.
Running.
And we see more.
Run, Forest.
Look at that. Abu Kassim with Abdul
Back to his
Hakim
curfew.
together.
Wow.
You see?
Lovely
But
couple.
when we asked them the question, and this is what I said, how is it that these people are coming to the park and the Muslims are not aware of this? Because actually there is something I was going to bring up. So here we have from Paul Williams.
Yep.
And this is what he put on his Facebook.
What did he put?
So he said, this is around the time of Abdul Hakim came to the park.
Alright.
He says, I am a member of SCL Speakers Corner London, a closed group on Facebook run by the Muslim speakers. The admins include well-known personalities such as Hashim, Mansour, and Hamza and others. And he said, yesterday I posted several articles on the group about events the day before. All the articles were deleted without warning and without explanation by Hashim, the well-known speaker and lead group admin. The action has opened a can of worms that in hindsight might prove to be a good thing. The first censured article was entitled "Humiliating a Woman at Speaker's Corner." In it, I described how an older woman who came to Speaker's Corner to support free speech was subjected to humiliation and abuse by a handful of Muslims. My article was originally published on this blog here. Hashim, the admin, told me this evening that my article was deleted because sympathising with Islamophobe is not in line with the ethos of this group. And I've got more. So he continues and it says, in fact, I was showing my outrage at how a human being has been publicly humiliated and expressing my disgust at the violation of her dignity and rights. But clearly for Hashim, only Muslims and pro-Islam non-Muslims are worthy of justice and decent treatment. Then he goes on and says, the other post was by a cut and paste job of an article by a Jewish friend of mine, Joseph, who praised the restraint shown by Muslims in the face of far-right provocation, but was very critical of one particular Muslim who behaved very violently on Sunday. Hashim deleted this excellent post and rebuked me. He said, our aim is to please Allah through our dawah efforts and not to air our dirty laundry in public. And then he concludes by saying, I have written this in despair at the prevailing ethos amongst Muslims at Speaker's Corner. There are a number of significant exceptions. I note the following problems: the abject failure to confront extremism in our midst, the turning of a blind eye to violence of individuals we team up with, the craven censorship of articles written on a private Muslim forum that dare to question the prevailing silence about our own demons. And then he says, the failure to acknowledge the behaviour, that to behave in the way some people did on Sunday was an absolute PR disaster. In truth, this shows that the SC closed group is nothing more than a mouthpiece for a particular ideology. So clearly, what we see is that Paul was part of this private group of Muslims in the park of the Dawah team, and he raised his concerns about the extremists in the park and the treatment of people within the park. But what did they do? They ignored him and they deleted his post and they ostracized him. That's why you do not see Paul with the Dawah members. So this is people like Mansour, Hashim, and obviously my video last week I didn't name them, but I should have. So we have people like Hashim and Mansour and Hamza, people who are aware of what's going on in the park, but then try and underplay it and brush it under the carpet. So when we're kind of coming up and asking them to expose these people, behind the scenes, they are saying that you should not expose these people. And as Paul's video last week, he said that they brought him hadiths to say that you should not report on another Muslim. And there's even video footage of Abdul Hakim being approached and asked the same thing, and he himself said he would not report a fellow Muslim if he knew they were going to commit a terrorist act.
Someone said, Abdul Hakim, I'm going to join. Am I saying your name right?
Abdul Hakim.
If someone said, Abdul Hakim, I'm going to join ISIS or some other terrorist group, and I'm going to take a SUV and I'm going to run it down Westminster Bridge, would you report them to the police?
It's not enough for Muslims to report.
So you wouldn't?
It's not enough.
So that's a no.
And this is someone who was associated with Anjem Chowdhury and the London Bridge attackers. So how can this all go under the noses of the Islamic Dawah team? And this includes people like Adnan Rashid, who defended Abu Qasim, but then it came to light that he was in court on extreme terrorism charges. So how can this be possible? But then he goes around to innocent Christians, calls them Islamophobes and hate preachers.
Only haters and bigots like that would argue in this way. Only haters, blind haters like that. Okay?
So this is why we're making a stand to call out their hypocrisy. And we have the information that they control these things within their own Islamic Facebook group to control what is being spoken out against. So clearly we're seeing a double standard within the Islamic Dawah team. They're very quick to approach non-Muslims and atheists, call them Islamophobes and such, but then when you have extremists in the park, where are they? They're silent. I've never seen Adnan Rashid go up to a Muslim extremist in this park in the same way he did with Hatun,
Never.
or Katie Hopkins,
Never.
or James, or Kalam, or Gary Google, all these different people. So clearly we're calling the Islamic Dawah team to account and speak up for themselves. That's
right.
why they just run away when we approach them. Look at Abdul Qasim. He tried to come and say that I lied and said that he was banned from the park. But these were not words from my mouth. But then when I asked him why was he in court on extremist and terrorism charges, he said it was home time and he did a shamsi. So clearly, what's going on? And this is why we call on the Muslims and the Dawah team to expose these people and their ideologies. So
thank you, Paperboy.
We want Hashim, Mansour, Adnan, Hamza to account for themselves. Why?
Why
are they limiting the speech, and why are they trying to suppress what's going on in the park? Are they not concerned for the British public?
That's right. Come on, Paperboy.